The views and opinions expressed by the host do not necessarily state or reflect those of the company and its management. Furthermore, the views and opinions of the guest do not reflect those of the host, the show, the management, and the network.
Mabuhay! You're in the right channel, TLC. And of course, this is Lee on Motivational Lee. I would like to ask you, do you still have the strong visions in life? And what are those? And how old are you, by the way? Do you still dream of going to a different country just to study, perhaps? Live, work, or just visit? It doesn't really matter. Let's make things happen because you're in the right channel. Obviously, it is great to migrate with Lee every Friday, 7 p.m. AEST Melbourne time. And of course, it's 5 p.m. in the Philippines. Wherever you are, please adjust. So catch me. Don't forget every Friday, the different visas and testimonies as well when it comes to migration. So see you then. Let's talk. Bye. Hello, everyone. It's Friday once again. Happy Friday. And I hope you're all settling well because it's going to be weekend tomorrow. How's your work going, guys, or whatever you do? I hope you're much relaxed right now because it is great to migrate. Episode 7, season 1 is here once again, obviously with Lee, only here on Motivationally YouTube channel and Facebook page as well, Motivationally. And of course, we are also live, simulcasted on Talk Live channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you as well, Ati Ida, for dropping by. And to all our friends once again in Southeast Asia, UK, Canada, and America. Thank you so much. And of course, Australia, thank you so much for tuning in with us. And last 2 weeks ago, on our episode 5, remember we talked about the parent visa. And the week after, which was last week, we had a guest who happens to be my beautiful mom. Hello, mom. Thanks so much for watching. She was here to talk about the life, here in Australia, living with us and being united. But today, ladies and gentlemen, to all my friends out there who are just tuned in, it is very interesting and exciting as well because we will be talking about, I'm sure some of you can relate on this. It's all about the temporary and permanent work visa. Okay. And of course, someone out here is very much well versed when it comes to the different visas. And of course, only here, Way to Oz Migration Services and Migration and Education Services. Let's welcome the director of Way to Oz. How about 3 big claps for Niti Hara? Hi,
Hi.
Niti.
Hello, everyone.
How are you? Nice to see you again.
Thank you. Same here. Same. Good to see you, Lee.
Good to see you too. It has been a very busy day for both of us, right? But
It's been a busy day.
it doesn't show. 8 o'clock is a chill for us. We want to educate
Correct.
people all over the world. And
Yeah.
Niti, would
Just
you like to
chill
say?
down, relax.
That's right. Niti, what would you like to say to some of the people that have already contacted us through our website? Would you like to say something to them? For those people who have reached out to us.
Yes.
Amazing,
First of
isn't
all,
it?
thank you. Thank you for reaching out to us. We have got your queries, and we are doing a pre-assessment, and we will reach out to you soon. It's either me or Lee, who is also
Yes.
part of Towards Migration Services. So one of us will get in contact with you.
Beautiful.
So
And
thank you so much once again.
yay! It's really amazing that through this talk show on our my YouTube channel and Facebook page, and of course Talk Live channel, people was able to reach out to us across the globe. Thank you once again. And now, Niti, I was just flicking. I don't really check all the time my Facebook and some of my social media, especially like when it's Friday. Just want to chill because it's thank God it's Friday. But I have found out as soon as I turn on my phone, I saw that you've got some good hard work reap of harvest today, not just today but this week, right? It's all
Yes.
about, and it's so timely that we'll be talking about this. It's all about the work visa, isn't it?
Correct.
Right? You've
And we,
someone was get approved.
absolutely. Yeah.
Tell us
What
about
an
it quickly, please.
Yeah, so we got work visa approved, permanent residency through work visa approved
Yes.
for a software engineer. within 4 weeks.
Wow.
So great achievement, great achievement. So yes, and what I mean, we're talking about work visa only today, and we
That's
got that
right.
this morning. We were like, wow, we have made it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm so happy. I'm so proud. Wait to us, team. Let's do this. What a great team. What a great migration and education services. And to all the engineers out there, or whatever your profession, engineers, nurses, what else? ITs, teachers, if you're qualified, please reach out to us on www.waytous.com. I'll show that to you later on. In front of your screen, we'll be running in front of your screen. But Niti, on behalf of the team, well done. You are the best. Very well versed into this kind of different kinds of visa. And to Jan Barreto, and also who else? Danica and Chewy, Anna. Thank you so much for tuning in. Jan and Jem are engineers as well, Niti. So hopefully, we'll talk to them one day, someday, hopefully soon. So all the best. Okay. Now, Niti, let's start about rolling, because Ida is here. Ismenia Katabay Celeste is here. Hello po, Ma'am Lee. Thank you. And Niti. Dandy Brad Bong is here. So hello, everyone. Thank God it's Friday. Yes, it is Friday indeed. That's why we're here. It's great to migrate with Lee and Niti. Now, Niti, first up, because it's work visa temporary or permanent. There's a question here, okay? This was a question that's been thrown to me 2 weeks ago, right? Because they're very excited about this episode 7. Can you differentiate, before we talk about this one at a time, can you tell us about what's a temporary visa and a permanent work visa? What's the difference between the two? And then we'll
So
talk
as
about it.
as the name suggests, temporary is for a temporary period. You come here on a work visa. You temporarily work. You live in the country, and you work full time for a particular employer. And permanent is actually a permanent residency. So that means you can work, live. You will have Medicare. It is a permanent visa. It's a permanent residency. So as the word suggests, temporary is for a limited time. And once the visa is over, you need to obviously pack your bags and go back or look for some other visa. But permanent is a permanent visa, which is a permanent residency.
Beautiful. And we'll talk more about that in a second. So we'll just do it one at a time. So if they replay this episode, it's easier for them to understand. So let's do the first stop on temporary work visa.
And that's one of the most common one.
The most common one. Wow. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you just tune in, this is the most common one, temporary work visa. Someone is asking, Trisha is asking, by the way, hi, Trisha, how long would be the processing time for the temporary work visa, Niti, please?
Okay. So
roughly.
it could take anywhere from 6 weeks to a couple of months. Now, lately, there have been lots of changes because of COVID, and certain occupations have been put in a priority list, and we call it as PMSOL. If you are applying under one of those occupations, it'll be a lot faster, a couple of weeks, 2 weeks even. Yeah. So yes, as I said, it could be anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 to 3 months.
Okay, good. So
it's really quick. It's really quick.
Beautiful.
Remember, the TSS visa, I jumped into the temporary visa. Let me explain you. So it's called temporary skill shortage visa, or a subclass 482. People know by 482. 482. Yeah, it's a temporary visa that permits the holder to live in Australia while working full time for a sponsoring employer, right? Now, this visa, if you're talking about the processing time, then it's a 3-step process. So if there's an employer who's looking for a specialized skill, foremost, what we need to find out is if that occupation is in one of the skill list. So there are 2 types of list, MLTSL and STSL, like a short-term list and a medium and long-term strategic skill list. So if your nominated occupation is in one of those lists, only then you can apply for this TSS visa, right? If your occupation is in short-term list, you get the visa for 2 years only.
2 years.
If your if your nominated occupation is in MLTSL list, then you get 4-year visa.
The MLTS, yes, 4 years.
MLTSSL, medium and long-term strategic skill list, right?
Okay. All right, cool.
And if it is in MLTSSL list, then it also means that after having this 482, you can transition to a permanent visa.
Ah, great. So from 4 years, then they can transition. But the
Correct.
STSL is only 2 years.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And
Beautiful.
you can't transition to permanent on when you're
Okay.
holding under an STSL still.
Someone
So-
just popped. Okay, yeah, keep going. I'll ask you later on because someone's just popped in a question. But yeah, you can continue. Thank you.
So basically, the applicant, if you're talking about the eligibility here, the applicant must have the skills required to fulfill the role, right? And the Australian Department of Home Affairs use something called ANZCO, Australian New Zealand Standard Classification of Occupation, to determine whether the proposed nominated occupation is accurate reflection of the duties of the position. So the let me put it in simple words and give you an example. Let's say a sponsor, and we'll keep the consistent example. Let's say an employer wants a software engineer to temporarily work for him. So he is saying, I need a software engineer who could do all these job duties, right? Those job duties must match with the ANZCO description of software engineer.
Okay.
So that's an employer side, but the employee or the visa applicant must also have the required skills and qualification to prove that he can do that role.
Okay.
Now, the general rule is for 482, the minimum requirement is that they should have 2 years of experience.
2 years. Okay.
So a software engineer, for example, working in any part of the world for minimum of 2 years. And if they have found an employer who wishes to sponsor them, they can apply through Subclass 482 visa.
Cool.
Right?
That's good.
But as I mentioned before, Lee, it is a 3-step process. It's not just a visa application. There are 2 steps that an employer must do it. The first one is the employer must be an approved sponsor. So the employer has to put a sponsorship application. Once they are an approved sponsor, only then they can nominate and sponsor an employee. The second step is they need to get an approved nomination for that particular occupation. Now, that nomination, we'll talk about the money part later on. I do want to talk about that. But in the nomination process, basically the sponsor or the employer is demonstrating that they have financial viability to pay to that person who they are nominating. Okay, so they have to prove that. So the employer must have to provide their profit and loss, the financial statements to prove their financial viability and to prove that I genuinely need someone, not just because this visa applicant has, approached me and I'm trying to do a favor. They need
just
to
open this job for her or him. Yeah.
Correct. They need to genuinely demonstrate that I'm in need of this role, and there's no one in Australia who could fill this role. So I need someone to get from outside.
So a genuine need.
Very important, a genuine need. Once the sponsorship is approved, and then after that nomination is approved, only then the visa applicant applies for the visa based on that nomination. So there's a lot of work required, but it's a 3-step process.
3 steps process. And as you have mentioned, you can't really predict how long would it take for this, right? To the processing.
Usually it is fast as compared to other visas. If I
the work sponsored,
skilled visa, these are really fast. It's not that long. I mean, a maximum I have seen is 6 weeks for 2 visas.
That's
honestly.
It's good to know And you know what? Having said that, we've got few business owners who are actually watching right now, not just in Victoria, but here in Australia. Hello. Hi, Yvonne. And thank you, Salon de Yvonne, as well, for refurbishing my hair today. And I know, yes, thank you. And for all the staff, you've been very nice. My major sponsor for today and forever, Salon de Yvonne. And I'm sure not just Salon de Yvonne, but other business owners who are actually watching right now. At least they've got an idea how they can
Absolutely.
sponsor someone. And you've just mentioned that there must be a genuine need from you as an employer, and for you to get that nomination,
Correct.
kind of thing, so that the
Absolutely.
applicant can apply for the work visa, sponsored visa. That's
Correct.
good.
So there,
Thank
yeah,
you for that, Niti.
so that's why there are lots of steps, and I don't think so. We need to go, for the purposes of this session, we need to go into that detail. There are lots of background work that's required to prove that genuine need, and also another thing, the employer need to make sure they pay a minimum threshold salary, which is around 53,000 to the sponsoring employee.
This is AUD, right? 53
AUD per annum.
Wow.
That's a minimum threshold, and they should be paying a market rate. So they have to demonstrate that we have done a survey, market salary survey, and that's why we are offering this person this much amount.
That's right. That's good to know. Very well said, Niti. And you know what, guys? For further info, because 1 hour is not enough to talk about this, so please reach out to us in front of your screen. Our number, we are on WhatsApp as well. And you can also reach us through waytooz.com, www.waytooz.com. Also LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, of course, WhatsApp, and Instagram. So please don't forget to reach out to us for more details, because Niti won't have much time to talk about everything today about that. So again, reach out to us on waytooz.com. Now, Niti, you've mentioned about the priority list, and Monique here is just asking about if you could give the viewers an example of that, even little examples of what are the priority lists that you were talking about a while ago, because we're talking about a temporary
Recently in
visa.
COVID, because of the travel restrictions and the work holiday visas have left, we had so much drain out of resources. The department has identified certain occupations, and they have categorized as priority occupations, or PMSOL list. That's what it is called. To give you some examples, software engineer, ICT, security specialist, pharmacist, they're all in PMSOL list. The list is huge. It used to be 21, 22 occupation. I think now it's total standing at 47. They've increased it further.
That's amazing.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
promising as well, and I'm sure everyone is excited to apply for work visa. So just sit back there, guys. Niti will still going to be talk more about that later on. So at the moment, Niti, we're still talking about the temporary visa, right? So you've also talked about the qualifications, or like the eligibility, a while ago anyway, so you don't need to repeat that. You can just replay that, ladies and gentlemen. Now, there's a question here. When I apply, Niti, for this temporary work visa, would I be able to bring my family with me if I have children, if I have, of course, a partner?
Absolutely. So you can include the secondary applicants, which is your spouse and your dependents, when you're applying for the visa application. Yes.
And is that part of the what am I call like let's say, for example, if the partner has got the visa and the dependent is here with them, can the partner work as well?
Yes, absolutely.
Full-time or part-time, doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter, full-time. Yeah.
That's really good to know.
The most important thing to note is, if you're a holder of Subclass 482 visa or TSS visa, then you must work for the same employer for whom the nomination has been approved. You can't change your employer for the duration of that particular visa.
Just for loyalty, isn't it, right? Loyalty is always, should be there all the time.
Because
they're the one who sponsored
remember
you.
the second, correct. And remember the second step we were talking about, that the sponsor had to prove the financial viability. They had to prove the genuine need of that particular employee. right? So if you want to change the employer, you find a new employer, they need to go through the nomination and visa application again.
I see.
Not the
Good
visa,
to know.
sorry, the sponsorship and the nomination.
And the nomination. Good to know. So after the TSSL, the
Yes,
temporary, yes, the temporary, you know what I mean, right? Because you're much well versed than I do.
Temporary short stay visa.
After the temporary visa, you've mentioned about they can there are other ways that eligibility, right? There's a question here, right? Is there any age limit at all?
For
What if
TSS
I'm 35 years
visa,
old?
for the
I'm 30
TSS visa, there is no age limit for a
That's
temporary one.
That's good to know. And if they want to transition, remember you've mentioned a while ago about this
Yes.
4 years for the
So
MLTSL.
MLTSL. So if their occupation is in medium and long-term list,
That's the 4 years.
you get a 4-year visa, and after working for 3 years, you are eligible to transition to a permanent stage, which is called, and it's a different subclass visa, which is subclass 186 under transition stream. We'll talk about subclass 186, but just so that you know, 482 can lead to 186 transition stream.
That's good to know, and it will be really a great journey for them as well. Now, I think you've answered everything right about this and the processing and everything. I think I'm really happy that you have talked about the temporary visa, work visa right now, and our viewers right now, like Loretta and Cora, hello. I'm sure they're all happy listening to our conversation right now, and I hope Cora, Loretta, Dahlia, Mia, come to Australia and work here. Why not? Work and live here in Australia. Hello to all of you. Thank you so much for watching. And Jans Mercado, RPH as well. Thank you so much for dropping by. I hope you are all learning so much about our first stop temporary work visa. Okay, good. Niti, is there anything else, or are there anything else that you want to add about the temporary visa?
I just want to add, there's a very important cost factor. I mean, there is a sponsorship application fee, there's a nomination application fee, but there's an important part for an employer, something called skills, a SAF levy, we say it, Skilling Australian Fund.
Okay.
So that's gone, that amount goes towards the training fund held by Department of Home Affairs. So employer whose revenue is less than 1 mil, so a small business, they pay approximately $1,200 per year for which they are getting the nomination approved. So let's say a hairdresser wants to hire a hairdresser. So that employer, and let's assume that their revenue is less than 1 mil, right, per annum. So in that case, and they're getting a employee for 2 years, they will be paying SAF levy of $1,200 per year. So that means $2,400. Well, hairdresser is in short-term list. So in this case, $2,400 during the nomination stage.
Okay.
If there's an IT company with a revenue less than 1 million, they are hiring a software engineer for 4 years, they'll be paying $1,200 multiplied 4.
Wow. Okay.
So
Thanks for that.
Is a and if it's more than 1 mil, if it's a big business, then it's $1,800 per year.
$1,800 per year. Well, that's not too bad at all.
So there's a cost involved. So just so that you know, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And there's a follow-up question here about Raphael. Raphael, thank you so much for watching. Raphael wants to ask Niti, if you don't mind, because he was a bit late right now, but he remembered you've mentioned about there's a 4 years for the temporary, and there's a 2 years, which is the SDS
list.
Yes, that's right. What will happen if Raphael, I'll just use you as my example. But this is really his question anyways. What if, like, Raphael has the short term, the 2 years one? What will happen? Does he need to go back to his home?
Couple of options there. Couple of options. Obviously, after the visa expiry, he will have to look for other options, right?
Okay.
Another visa options. He can certainly be sponsored by another employer for 482 for the next 2 years.
There you
But
go.
remember, there is something called a genuine temporary entrant criteria. It's a subjective criteria where you need to
Mm.
satisfy the case officer that you're not using this work visa as a Zuru residency. There's a
Yeah,
genuine need for you, right?
true.
Um, and then once you have already, there are options for 186 as well, direct entry, not the transition.
Yep.
Um, we'll talk about that. I just don't want to jump into it.
Yeah, you're
But what
not
I'm
yet.
saying,
Okay.
there are ways. Once you have worked in the country, you open up so many options. You open up
There you go.
skills, visa option. You open up another employer, permanent one for you. So there are options. What I was
There you
talking
go.
before, if your occupation is in a medium term list, then it's a natural transition you can go through. But that
Mhm.
does not mean people who are on STSL, they don't have any other option. They do have other options.
Good to know. It's very clear. Thank you. So there's really hope. There's a hope for both, the short one, the short term, and the MLTSSL. Oh my God, I need to memorize that. But thank you for that, Nikki.
It's
Very well said and very clear, guys. So again, you can replay this as many times as you like. And of course, Niti, people are very happy to hear what you just actually mentioned a while ago. Very well explained. They said very smart, obviously. Of course. Wait to us. Niti is here. Now, Dahlia says, hello, Lee, looking great. Like your hair. Thank you. Salon de Yvonne. Thank you very much. Hi also to your beautiful guest. Of course, that is your Niti, my beautiful guest. My director, our director of waytooz.com. Thank you so much, Dahlia. And Dahlia said, share this to the different travel groups soon. They might get interested to migrate. Why not invite everyone? Share this, episode 7 and all our episodes as well for It's Great to Migrate so that we can assist and help other people as well. And Loretta says, thank you, Ati Nancy and Mami Mia for watching in Davao City. Mabuhay! Maayong hapon sa tanan dyan sa Davao City. It's a different dialect niti. Okay, I'll teach you that.
Yeah,
You
I
taught me
was
namaste,
wondering, what did
right?
Lee say just now?
I said, good afternoon to everyone in Davao, which I was born there as well, and I used to live there. Hello sa tanang mga taga Davao. O sa lahat sa taga Manila, hello po sa inyo. It's another dialect, Niti, okay? You'll have your turn next time. Oh my goodness. All right, Niti. It's getting really, very interesting and exciting. But you know what? We deserve to have a bit of a break.
Great.
Come back right after this. There you have it, guys. One of the best to invest here in 2021. As you can see, Niti, there's a beautiful unit. It's Mega World. Please, for more information, please contact the numbers in front of you right now, anytime. And you can also reach out to me through my YouTube channel and also my Facebook page, Motivationally, for something the best invest for this year onwards, and all throughout every year. It's one of the less stress-free or the stress-free, best to invest in 2021. Mega World, hello to everyone, to all the staff of Mega World. Now, Niti, we've just talked about the temporary visa, right? So let's set this aside. Very well said. And I'm sure everyone is happy with all the information that they have, heard from both of us today, especially from you. Now, next stop would be the permanent work visa. And you talk about the permanent work visa a while ago. So there's a question here. How long is the processing? How, the application for the permanent work visa?
Again, as I said, from a couple of weeks to a couple of months, depending upon the occupation, what time of the year you're applying. As I said, these days, the department is processing the occupation, especially in PMSOL, really fast, really fast. The one we were talking, the one you mentioned before, we got it in 4 weeks time.
Okay, that's
Yes,
really good. Yeah, the one on
and I've heard some of them even within 2 to 3 weeks. So it depends. But at the same time, I know there's another one that's been sitting there, which is not in priority list at this point. That's sitting for last 3 months. So it could vary.
Wow, so it's almost the same as the temporary visa because they're both work visa, temporary
Correct,
visa.
because
Yeah.
they're both
That's
work
good to
visas.
know.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I reckon that the family can also come, obviously, because
Right.
of
And
the
let me
visa.
expand on that. So
Please,
just to
please.
explain,
Take
we're
it away.
talking about subclass 186 here, which is an employer nomination scheme, right? It is a permanent residency visa, if I put it in simple words, right? So now, as a permanent resident, obviously you've got no conditions. You can include your family members when you're putting the application in. You can live, you can work here, you get the Medicare because it is a permanent residence, right? Now, subclass 186, there are two streams to it. One is a direct entry, one is a transition. Transition is transition from subclass 482, which was a temporary one,
Yes.
right? So if you've got a visa for 4 years and you've worked for the employer for 3 years and now he's happy with your work, he wants to further sponsor you for permanent residency, you use the 186 transition stream,
Great.
right? The direct entry stream, which is a subclass 186, is for someone where, for people who are in most of the cases, they're not in Australia, who have an experience of at least 3 years. They have got their skills assessment done, which is, based on their qualifications and skills. There are many assessing authorities in Australia, and they've assessed. So, for example, software engineer, there's an Australian Computer Society. They assess the skill of of the applicant. So you've got the skills assessment, you've got a 3-year experience, and there's an employer who's ready to sponsor you for a permanent one, then you go through a direct entry stream. Now, there is an age limit on this, 45
okay.
years.
Come again, sorry, 45.
5 years.
4 and 5, 45
4
years
and
later.
5. There is a age limit in this one. And then you must also have a skills assessment done under the direct entry stream. Whereas if you are coming from transition stream, you don't need the skills assessment.
Wow.
Right?
So
there are some subtle differences between the two, but they both are leading to the permanent residency.
Okay, so both are actually okay, the temporary and permanent, right?
You do need English. You do need English
for the
IELTS.
permanent. For the permanent,
Yes,
or for both?
yes.
Temporary.
6 each. You also need for the temporary one, but the score is quite low, so it's quite achievable, which is overall 5 with minimum of 4.5.
That's good for the temporary, but for the permanent work visa should be 6 in each components, right? And the total as well.
Correct.
I'm sure you can all nail it. You're all good in English, right? For all those in the Philippines and India, Southeast Asia, I'm sure you're all good. Even in Canada, America, and the United Kingdom, you can all nail this IELTS English test. You can do this. Why not? Try that now.
Now, this direct entry stream, your occupation must be in MLTSL list. Remember, we talked about 2 types of lists?
Yes.
So in order to be eligible for the direct entry straight into permanent residency, your occupation must be in MLTSL list.
Ooh, okay.
That's another thing. Yeah. So for example, chef is eligible for direct entry because it is an MLTSL list, whereas cook is an STSL list. So you can't get
chef
permanent residence. Yes. See how close
these are? Is different.
Exactly.
Okay. Cook and a chef is different, guys. Okay. So the chef is on the medium list, right?
Correct.
the chef. The cook is in the short term.
STSL. Yes. So
The
that's why it's
STSL.
not eligible for direct entry 186.
That's right. But just the chef, just an example, guys. Okay.
Just an
Yes.
example.
Good. Romina is here. Romina, thank you so much for watching. Romina is asking, where can she find the occupational lists?
It's on the website. It's on Department of Home Affairs website.
There you go. Department of Home Affairs website. Of course, that is Australia. Have a look at that, guys, so that you would know if you're in on the list of the medium or the short term. Okay, so you know.
Or otherwise, we are there to do a pre-assessment and tell you whether you qualify or not qualify.
Yes. If you couldn't find it, why making it so hard for you
Send us
guys?
your CV.
Reach out to us. Way to us. It's in front of your screen. www.waytooz.com with our contact numbers. That we have the WhatsApp, WhatsApp and Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter as well. So please don't hesitate to contact us if you are not sure of what you're doing and what you're looking for as well on the website. It's better to have someone really to mediate and to really help you and assist you in whatever needs you need for a specific visa, because you'll never know. You might not be eligible really for student visa, but you're more eligible, for work
Correct.
visa, and
let me tell you, it is a complicated part of immigration law.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, work visa is one of the complicated ones. There are so many elements that need to be demonstrated, and if you miss on any of those, it could lead to visa refusal.
That's right. And speaking of that, I know a lot of people in this world are thinking like, for me to save more money because we need to pay for the migration agent and all that, I'll just do it my way. But Niti's just mentioned, I know risking sometimes is good, but at this time, don't take the risk. You need a migration agent, just like us. And we're not just saying this because we're a migration agent, but for your own safety as well, and for to prevent any refusal, contact waytooz.com, www.waytooz.com.
I'll give you a perfect example. This happened to me today. I'm working on another employer-sponsored visa today, and I asked the employer to change the employer contract, not change it, add something, which was around. I said, can you make this statement and add that this employee will be working with you for at least 2 years? Now, the employer do not understand the immigration law. And he came back to me, why do I have to put this in? I don't know whether that employee, I'll keep this employee. I said, it's up to you. But I know Department of Home Affairs, if they don't see that, they're not going to approve it. It's a small little thing. I'm just giving you an example. These things, you would not find it on the surface on the Department of Home Affairs that you must have this, in writing in your employment contract. They won't put it like this.
True.
But there are small little things. And today was a classic example. And then I had to literally go into the legislation, not on the Department of Home Affairs side, because that's not available there. I had to go into the legislation, pull out those details from the regulations, and I sent him the snapshot. Look, this is what they're asking for.
Right.
So it's very, very important that you engage right person, right migration agent who has knowledge of these visas.
Please, we're not saying just for the sake of saying this because we are a migration agent, but it's not. It's really for your own good as well, ladies and gentlemen. Seriously, straight from the heart of Niti, myself, and Way to Oz. So please contact us. And Jans Mercado RPH is saying, do you have a website? Jans, just in front of your screen, it says www.waytooz.com. And our contact numbers, you can, if you don't have a WhatsApp app, I always like have the tongue twister, WhatsApp, please download it for free so that you can contact us, and the number is just in front of your screen. And you can also reach out to us on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, and of course, Twitter. So Jan, I hope you've got that, and I hope that helps too. Bang says, good evening. Thank you so much for watching, Bang. And the rest of you guys have just tuned in. Thank you so much for dropping by. Now, Niti, I believe that you've covered most of the things about the permanent work visa, right? And like the age limit, you said that if this is a direct entry or application for permanent residency, there is a age limit of 45 years old. Yeah, unlike the temporary, there's none.
Yeah, but we still need to talk about a 494 visa, which is a new visa introduced.
Yes, please.
It's
Take it away.
called Skilled Employer Sponsored Regional Visa.
Mhm.
Now, as the word suggests, it's for the employers who are in regional areas. And this is a provisional visa, which means it's again a temporary visa.
Mhm.
But so in November 29, just to give you a bit of a context, the department introduced this regional provisional visa, which as an applicant, you get it for 5 years. And then after working for 3 years or meeting the conditions of that particular visa, you can apply to the next stage, which is a permanent residency.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's called
That's
Subclass
good.
494 visa.
So that's
So
very new.
this is fairly new. Yeah, we
Mhm.
used to have something similar called 187, but now it's called 494 visa. It's a provisional residency visa available to
That's good.
skilled workers, right?
This is
And it
interesting,
can be
exciting.
people who are already in Australia or living outside.
So both onshore and offshore, you can cater this, right, Niti?
Correct. Any of these visas, actually, any onshore, as long as you meet the criteria and you have an employer who can sponsor you, you can apply for any of the visas we are talking today.
Lovely.
Now, to be eligible for this visa, a worker must be skilled in an occupation which is in ROL, Regional Occupation List. There's another one.
Occupation list. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
And as I said, and you must be nominated by an employer who is in a designated regional area. What I mean by designated regional area is that department has released or has got a list of postcodes which are classified as designated regional area. So if your employer is in that area, then you may qualify for 494. Otherwise, not. So if someone is in Melbourne City, they cannot sponsor someone on 494. They have to go through 186.
I see.
Right? But if someone is, let's say, in Clyde, in Melbourne, I'm talking about, which is a regional,
Yeah.
or let's say Phillip Island, they
Yeah.
can sponsor for 494, right? There are some similarities with subclass 186 where there is an age limit. So 45 is the maximum. They should have a competent English, which is 6H. They should have a skills assessment, which was also required in 186. And they should have at least 3 years of experience in their nominated occupation, which was again in subclass 186.
Yes.
So very
that's right.
similar. The criteria is very similar.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact that it should be in a regional area.
And there's so much jobs in different regional areas as well, and employers who wants to sponsor employees onshore and offshore. So this is the great opportunity.
Correct. So and then after you have worked for that employer for 3 years, you can just apply for the permanent visa. You don't have to apply for another transition one with the same employer, but you become eligible for permanent residency, basically.
That's great news, Niti. Thank you for that. Yeah. Thank you for that. So, wow, 1 hour is not enough to talk about this visa. But again, guys, you don't need to memorize all these subclasses, like all the numbers, because even myself, I don't memorize each one of them. But all you need to do is, once again, reach out to www.waytooz.com to Niti. And if you communicate with me as well, of course, I can redirect you to Niti because she's very much well-versed in all of the visas, because I specialize more on student visa and PR pathway, but Niti and myself work really well together. So we throw things together, but not physically, but some of the things that we need to talk about. I'm learning so much from Niti. She's really a great mentor as well. So thank you for that, Niti. And your knowledge is really vast when it comes to all of these visas. And hopefully one day I can be like you as well. Like I can just talk about this, even if I close my eyes. But yes, my specialty is more student visa and PR pathway. But of course, Niti will always be there to support. So what we do in Way to Us, someone's asking, if you are going to reach out to us, we always ask for your CV so that it will be fair enough for us to really assist and assess you fairly. What could be the right path for you? Is it student? Is it work visa? And in 2 weeks' time, we'll be talking about the skilled migration, right? In 2 weeks' time. So we will try and redirect you guys where you are, where is the what is the best path for you. Is it student or work visa, whatever it is, So that's why Waito is always here to give you the right advice, okay? Not just an advice, but really a sincere advice where you should be going, so that at the end of the day you'll be successful as well, and you know exactly where you're heading at, okay? And
Right. And
you
I
can,
like to add one thing.
yes, please.
We don't muck around. We just say, if
True.
there is a pathway, this is what it is. If it is not, this is what it is. We won't
Yeah.
muck around and put you through various things and just, say, just try it. It might work, it might
Yeah.
not work. We are very upfront and we tell you, sorry,
Yeah.
this cannot work or this can work.
Yes. Because you might be thinking, oh, we're going to be paying money, whatever. But we're not just here for the money. I'm not just, but we're not here for the money. We're here for sincere service for you guys, because we don't want you guys to lose your money as well, So we don't
Right.
want also you guys to waste your time. So when you come to us, we will tell you straight away, in all honesty, what is the right path for you. So please don't forget to reach out to us any time of the day. We've got a day off as well, weekend, but we'll try our best to, answer all your queries on WhatsApp and in other social media as well. And for those who have not followed our Facebook page, Niti, our Facebook page is Way to Oz, isn't it? Right?
Correct. Correct.
So Way to Oz. Find us. You can search that. Type on a search button on Facebook, and you can find us and follow us, so that you'll be more updated of all the the great news that we have daily, and what are the services that we are going to do in the next few weeks, months, whatever it is. And also we've got other schools as well that they want to advertise through Way to Us web, like website. They can also look for that opportunity as well. Now, anyways, Niti, is there anything else that you want to expand on that, or you're happy with everything about the permanent visa?
I think we've covered it, unless we really want to go into detail in terms of what's
Don't have
involved.
much time,
But
yeah.
that's going to take another half an hour.
Yeah, and you don't want to be here forever, right, guys? So at least you've
Correct.
got some golden nuggets from Niti right now, and in this season 1, episode 7 on work visa, which is temporary and permanent visa. But we'll be right back, Niti, after this. There you have it, guys. Welcome back. Again, this is episode 7 and season 1 is Great to Migrate. We're talking about work visa, temporary or permanent work visa. Now, Niti, I think we've covered everything. And guys, if you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to type in. Even if it's already, finished, you can still type in. And me and Niti will be able to answer your questions in due time. So please don't hesitate to type in if you have any questions about work visa. And Niti, I would like to thank you for today as well. But Niti, do you have any special message to everyone out there globally who are thinking of coming to Australia, because it's one of the best opportunities in the world? Coming here with great environment, friendly environment. It's just beautiful, multi-diversified. So any special notes for everyone, Niti, for those who are
I
tuning
think
in?
that in today's world, especially after COVID, well, we are not out of COVID technically, but Australia is in need of skilled resources. So, guys, you have an opportunity, at least this year and next year. That's a bare minimum. Of course, there will be ongoing, but this is the time, the crunch time, when Australia really needs skilled people. So if you have, the rule of the thumb is, if you have 2 years of experience, you are eligible for TSS visa. If you have more than 2 years, minimum of 3 years, and you have competent English, you are eligible for 186 visa. So guys, keep an eye. Now, there are certain occupations, as I said, they are in more demand than others. So, and that's why we are there for you to assess and help you. So, this is the time.
That's right. Thank you so much, Niti. Don't waste any opportunity, guys. Don't just sit there and just, wait for the stars to fall on you. It won't gonna happen. So you've got to make sure that you focus on your vision and really do something now whilst you're young or whatever your age. Come and reach out to us so that we can assist you further as soon as possible. And Niti, thank you so much for that. And just sit back and relax there, Niti. I would like to say hello to our viewers, Habibi, Riza, Yvonne, Margaret as well. Thank you so much for watching. Evelyn and Jerry and Ryan, my hubby. Thank you so much for watching, and my family, and to all my families in the Philippines as well, and to all my friends. Thank you so much for watching. And again, to our global viewers, Niti, who is in Southeast Asia. Thank you so much for watching in America, Canada, and in the UK. Thank you so much once again for dropping by. And please don't forget, guys, that I have a YouTube channel. Please follow my YouTube channel motivationally. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and also in Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter as well. And I'm also in LinkedIn as Lee Montades if you want to follow me and reach out to me as well. And also, Niti and the rest of my friends, I've got as well a website, and please check out my website www.motivationally.com. So please watch out all of my services there. Versatility, a one-stop shop. So please look on that website www.motivationally.com, and I will also give you a free consultation time as well, so I know what service I could give you as well. So thank you so much in advance. And Niti, one more thing. This is my message to everyone, not just for both of us, but I would like to remind everyone, for those who are not contemplating right now, right, that maybe some of you are saying like, oh, my age and all these things, this is just my experience and all that. Don't put any stress on you. Why not just, reach out to us? Because you need to focus on your goals, not on your fear, not even your self-doubt. As I always said this on my other videos on YouTube channel, that self-doubt can kill your dreams more than failing. So please, set that aside, focus on your vision. A goal without a timeline will always be just a dream. So please take action now, reach out to us. Once again, go to www.waytooz.com. Thank you so much, Niti, for this beautiful time as always. Very well said. See you again next week, everyone. For our we have a guest, Niti, life after migration, having this kind of visa, work visa. To Danica and Chewy, I'll see you next week, okay? And guys, please don't forget, every Friday, 8 p.m. AEST, and in the Philippines, it's 5 p.m. I think in India, it's 2:30 p.m. I believe so. So wherever you are, please adjust. It's 8 p.m. AEST Melbourne time. Thank you once again for watching. Have a good day and stay safe and stay happy, stay motivated. Only here on Motivationally, and this is Lee on TLC. It's great to migrate. Thank you, everyone. Bye. God bless.